Hey guys, sitting down here. This is gonna be my chapter review to My Hero Academia or Boku no Hero Academia 256, The High Deep Blue. Now, a couple things actually here. First, I totally forgot that Nanatsu no Taizai existed, so I haven't done the last two chapters. I think one chapter was released just a couple days ago, maybe. Something very soon, so I'm gonna try and do a double review either Friday or Saturday to get that going, as well as my One Punch Man review. But also there was this Korean song I just heard by a lady called Younha Winter Flower. Or is that the name of the song? I don't. I think her name is Younha, and maybe the song is called Winter Flower, featuring RM of BTS. But give that shit a listen to, man, because like I've heard a few Korean songs over my lifetime, but that one I was like, yo, damn, this got some powerful ass vocals, like really powerful vocals. I was like, yo, shit. So listen to that. It was pretty cool. It's gonna be something new for you guys. Take a look. I mean, like most of you have watched anime, you've heard those Japanese intros and outros. This was dope. That was a pun on BTS, but okay. This chapter, High Deep Blue Sky. So what this chapter focuses on is we see all of the kids of Class 1A. They're showing what they learned over the course of their latest internship. So you have people who've gone back to heroes that they've interned with before. We have the three that we were following: Bakugo, Midoriya, Deku, and Shoto. We know that those three were with Endeavor, the number one hero at the moment. But we see where all the other kids were, what they learned, and the awesome part about this chapter is All Might literally says to them, I want to know what you've learned. Tell me what you've learned. So as they're displaying their abilities, they're shouting out what they've learned. They're shouting out what they've improved on, which I thought was really nice. And I actually really enjoyed the format of this chapter. Let me just try and make sure that my mic doesn't turn off here. So I really did enjoy the format of this chapter. And as we go through it, I'm pretty sure you'll agree with me. So the first thing we actually see is Aoyama, I think is his name. He utilizes the belt around his belly, and he actually controls his laser for once. So he's not just shooting his laser, because all we've ever seen him do is shoot his naval cannon thing, his naval laser, straight ahead, and it's never had like a stop. It just carries on going until it hits something, and then it kind of, the energy dissipates into whatever it's hit, maybe transferring into heat or something like that. But this time he actually controls the length. It's really weird. It's awesome from his front. He's actually learned to control his quirk, but it's what, probably about a foot, maybe a couple feet, in like this lightsaber shape, basically erected from his belly, and he can use that as a sword essentially. And I thought that's so cool. So I'm hoping that maybe in the future he'll have some sort of a proper hero suit in which he'll be able to essentially refract the light, refract the laser, and be able to like essentially control how much output he's dedicating to his arms or something like that, for instance. And he can have like Wolverine claws, he can have laser claws, laser swords on his arms. Aoyama could be sick if someone designs a very complex hero suit for him. But it looks awesome. He uses that to cut straight through these machines that they're using to kind of almost to give them the same practice as villains. But as we know, villains are a lot more tricky, especially now with the power-ups that they've gone through as well. So everyone's eating candy floss looking at this. And then we see one of the most impressive power-ups I've seen, because we always forget about her. So Aoyama has his naval laser, which is awesome, his naval sword. But then we see, what's her face, Jeez, I can't actually remember her name. We see Invisible Girl. That's what I'm going to refer to her as. She actually, for the first time, so we know that she's invisible. Like, light doesn't pass through her. If light passed through her at all, we'd be able to see some aspect of her. She would be like a certain sheen or a certain color or something like that. But light completely passes through her. But it looks like she also has the ability to warp or refract light. So she puts her hands around Aoyama's naval laser, or his naval sword, and she refracts the laser so much so that she actually bends it completely 180 and shoots it like a Kamehameha right at one of these machines. And I thought that was probably the most impressive or amongst the most impressive power-ups we've seen, because she's displayed none of that so far. We haven't seen anything of her. I don't remember anything where she was like, oh, that's pretty cool, or where I was like, oh, that's pretty cool around her. But she's definitely put in some work. So she says that she can now yank light and warp it. I think that's just a non-fancy way of saying she can refract light and bend it to her will, essentially. So we then see Mina, who coats herself in basically maximum viscosity acid, and a machine that attacks her just gets dissipated. It literally gets dissolved as he's attacking and dies. So what we're told here is that those three did their internship, their work study under the equipped hero Yoroi Musha. I think that was his name. Yeah, Yoroi Musha. And that's where they kind of learnt all these new ultimate moves, essentially. Apparently he has so many plans for attacking and defending that they had to keep up with combos just to keep up with him. So that was all good. That was awesome. I loved Invisible Girl's new abilities that she's never showcased before. I liked Aoyama being able to control what he can do, but I also thought Mina's Acid Man was pretty cool. And then she goes up to Kirishima. She's like, that was my version of your Unbreakable, sticking her tongue out. And I thought this was like basically just Horikoshi saying, oh, for all you shippers out there, check this out. So obviously there's something like undercover going on there. All Might tells the rest of them, he's like, alright, cool, show me what you've learned. So then we see Ojiro and Sato. They did their work study with Lion Hero Shishido, number 13 on the chart. I liked how they also introduced some of these heroes and where they rank on the billboards. So what they learned was a flurry of moves and the power to read ahead. So essentially they learned to just attack faster and predict their opponent's movements, predict where they want to be positioned and stuff like that when they're hitting people. We then see Jiro and Shoji, who worked with Killer Whale hero Gang Orca, number 12 on the chart. We've seen him before. He looks awesome. I think he was ranked number 1 to be the most villainous looking hero. What they learned was enhanced search techniques, but I'm a little bit annoyed that we didn't get to see what those enhanced search techniques are. Obviously he's an Orca. He has ultrasound, echolocation, quite possibly. You can see how that ties in for someone like Jiro, but for someone who you can kind of see how it ties in with echolocation with Shoji as well. But I would have liked to have seen that. We then see Kaminari, Sero, and Mineta. What they learned was tight and efficient team moves. So they learned to work as a team. Their work study was with the Minayama hero, Mount Lady, or Team Lurkers. And what I always found weird about this team was Mount Lady is the lowest ranked by far out of this trio. So the trio consists of Mount Lady, Kamui Woods, and Shinya Kamihara. What's his name? Edshot. Yeah, so Edshot, Kamui Woods, and Mount Lady. And I think so Edshot is the number 4 hero, and Kamui Woods is the number 7 hero, and then we have Mount Lady, who's the 23rd hero. It's just like 23rd ranked. So you're just like, really? I think they're playing like second fiddle to her because she has a lot of popularity. But then she would be above them in the hero rankings, right? Because popularity plays a part in that. So I'm not sure why it's referred to as Mount Lady, like the work study hero is Mount Lady and not just Team Lurkers. It's almost as if she's the front man of that group. Not that I have an issue with that. It's just that she ranks lower than both of those guys. So maybe it's the fact that she is kind of the more popular amongst the people, and they tend to do more heroic acts. Anyway, yeah. So what they do, Kaminari, Sero, and Mineta, they wrap all these machines in Sero's tape mixed with Mineta's balls, and that gets them all stuck in one position. They can't move. They're all stuck together. And then Kaminari is able to go and deliver a huge electric shock. So that's what they've learned. Team and efficient, tight and efficient team moves. We then see Ida, who has apparently a looser approach. I'm not too sure because the drawing doesn't really do justice to this. I assume Ida is just less, he's less stiff in how he's fighting. He's more loose, and basically he's become more of a natural fighter, so he just absolutely decks the machine. His work study was surprisingly with Manual, the number 200, the 222nd hero on the chart, normal hero Manual, but that's also the hero who he interned with during the whole hero killer mini arc with Stain. So he still feels some sort of responsibility, some sort of loyalty to the normal hero Manual, and kind of, I assume he went there not just with the nostalgia. Obviously, he wanted to learn something, but also because he felt like he had some sort of responsibility towards Manuel for treating him the way he did and for being there during the whole thing with his brother being debilitated in the hospital and helping him out when Stain, helping him out as kind of like the adult figure when Stain was going apeshit on all his boys. We see Koda, who worked with the laundry hero Wash, who's number 8 on the chart. Can't wait to see what he can do. But Koda's learned smooth communication. I think Koda is the one that I'm least interested by out of the whole class. Like, he's just, even Mineta, man. I mean, like, Koda's just, I don't know, man. He can control animals, but I want to see you get a Utah Raptor or something like that, a Velociraptor, and just get them after Shigaraki. That'd be pretty cool. We then see Tokayami, who his work study was with the winged hero, or wing hero, Hawks, number 2 on the chart, who's absent from the agency. Apparently for him, it's improvement on all fronts, but it looks like he's improved his offensive capabilities whilst also remaining some sort of defensive front, coating himself in his dark shadow. So he's improved the fact that, you know, great offense, great defense. That's what Tokayami is. We then see Kirishima, who's back with the BMI hero Fat Gun, and what he says is his improvement is making baddies lose the will to fight real quick. So that's kind of harkening back to what Fat Gun told him many chapters ago. It was actually, I don't think it was that far back, but it was when they were fighting against the Overhaul and his boys. One thing Fat Gun told him back then was, if you can make baddies lose the will to fight as quickly as possible, you've won. So he's continuing with that. Uraraka and Asui, they are still working with the Dragoon hero Ryukyu, who's number 10 on the chart, and apparently what she's learned is determination. What you see here is this cable flying out of Uraraka's new kind of arm pieces. She's wearing these, would you call them greaves? Yeah, well, essentially like just bulky arm pieces which house this cable, and she's learned, or she was inspired to create something like that after seeing Deku's quirk going apeshit and using Black Whip, and she was like, oh, actually I can use that. So it might be cool in the sense of when she removes gravity from herself and she's floating, she can now propel herself almost like Spider-Man, or pull herself like Spider-Man using these short range whips essentially. We see Yaoyorozu, who her work study was with magic hero Majestic. She learned to predict and act efficiently. Once again, I don't like the fact that they didn't actually show what she was doing or what she was capable of doing. It just says predicting and acting efficiently. Obviously, we then see Bakugo, Midoriya, and Todoroki, or Shoto, and we see exactly what they learned, and it's basically exactly what Endeavor told them. You know, so he told Bakugo, you gotta maximize your fire output, I think it was. And obviously through the feet and stuff like that, but you got to maximize that. So for Bakugo, he's just like, what did I learn to raise the bar? So you see him absolutely deck a number of those machines, and I find it hard to believe that, you know, people are going to be overtaking Bakugo. He is immensely powerful right now, apart from obviously maybe Shoto and Deku, but even then Bakugo is almost, if they fought 1v1, it would be a difficult fight for him, but he's very, very capable. We see Shoto then using both his left and his right side, the flame and the ice. He wrecks a whole bunch of these machines as well, and he says what he learned, his speed. And then you see All Might kind of looking at this and thinking, yo, this is what they've learned from the new number 1. This is what they're capable of now because of the new number 1. And I like the fact that he's looking at Deku's back, and he's reminiscing to when he was talking to both Deku and it must have been Bakugo, saying, if you two want to become top heroes, you need to go to Endeavor, you need to learn from him. So he's watching Deku utilize his new abilities, Black Whip, and Deku says what he's learned from the whole thing was experience. That's what he's gained, the experience using his quirk, experience using One for All at such a capacity that it's automatic now. He can use he can concentrate on Black Whip while the rest is just autonomous. He doesn't need to think about it. And all Might's thinking at this point is he's obviously proud that Deku can do that, and we're all like, yo, shit, this is insane, this looks so cool, Deku's finally able to use Black Whip properly. But what All Might's thinking is, this kid's gone so far ahead now that he doesn't even look back. He doesn't look back at me for confidence. He doesn't look back at me for permission. He doesn't look back at me and worry because he's afraid of what his quirk is going to do. He doesn't need to anymore. He's going to kick some ass. I love the fact that I love the fact that All Might is motivated. Well, not even motivated. I love the fact that he's hyped up by this. He's so encouraged by seeing Deku improve like this. So Deku smashes some machines, and that's all well and good. Everyone's kind of talking about, all the kids are talking about, oh yeah, you've mastered this, and all that good shit. Mineto's talking to Deku, asking him like, oh yeah, shit, you actually mastered your black whip thing. What we see here is another kind of ship moment for all you shippers out there that enjoy that kind of thing. Deku goes up to Uraraka and he kind of bows in thankfulness or in like sincerity, out of sincerity to Uraraka, saying, I'm using my quirk, the black whip aspect of it, a lot better now. Thank you for saving me that time. And she's like, the whole thing, like, you don't have to apologize. And then she makes mention of the fact that she now has these wires, these short range whips essentially that were inspired by Deku's quirk. So essentially she's like, so even though I helped you, you kind of helped me by inspiring me, which is what Deku's always been to Uraraka. He's always been that inspirational kind of goal. She's always wanted to be like him, almost like, not in the same way that Toga wants to be like him, but in the same way that she in the same way that he kind of sees All Might, she almost sees someone very familiar, very very close to her, as another goal, as someone that she could be like. And that's a realistic target to achieve. So they fist bump. Minato, I loved his face. He's just like, his eyes just completely evaporated of all water. He looks a lot like what I imagine Eraserhead would look like if he didn't have any eye drops. You see Mina in the back just kind of giggling at the fact that, there's this moment between Deku and Uraraka. Anyway, All Might says he's recorded the class. Aizawa's going to watch it later. And he kind of looks over to Deku and Bakugo. He's like, y'all need to aim ever higher. So we then go back to the dormitories where we see Aizawa and Present Mike. And he's talking to his longtime friend. And he's like, what would you do if we learned that where they were making these normal? Eraserhead straight up. He's like, I'd run out, go kick the shit out. My blood would be boiling. I'd make a stew out of it. I'm not exactly sure what that means. All I know is that Present Mike would go out there and try to kick up as much of a fuss, try and kick the shit out of anyone he saw. He would go there and fight. And you see Aizawa about to say what he would do, and he says, and he's cut off. We see Mirio for the first time in a long time. And he's come to talk about Eri. We see, oh my god, what's his name? What's Sanita's name? Amajiki. I think that might be his family's name. I'm going to just call him Amajiki. He talks about Eri, and her horn has grown quite long, and she says that her horn feels weird. She's being grasped by Nejire, and her horn does look a lot longer. It's got like some energy at the tip of it. Aizawa crouches down beside him. He's like, don't worry, this is UA. I'm not sure what's going to happen here. Maybe Mirio's going to get a little bit rewound. Maybe they're going to harness her powers using some sort of machine or something like that. And they're going to recover Mirio's abilities. I don't know. He's still hoping. But that would be pretty cool. But we leave that scene and we go back to the break room where All Might's speaking to both Bakugo and Deku. He says, congrats on your progress with Black Whip. And he looks at Bakugo and he's like, what sort of heights is this kid going to reach? Essentially saying to Bakugo, what can you not do? That's how much of a genius you are. Not just physically, but mentally. We then see All Might hand over this book, which is the main part. It's a good end to the chapter in the sense of he gives Deku whatever he's been able to gather on the quirks of the past successes. So somehow, some way, he's gathered all the information he's ever had, all the information other people have possibly had on the quirks of the successes of One For All since the first guy. He's written it down into this book, and that's what Midoriya is going to study. You see Bakugo looking at it, but he doesn't really give too much of a shit. This is for Deku's development. So I want to see what their quirks were. We already know about Black Whip. We don't know about Nana's quirk, I don't think. We don't know about the rest of them. We know that both Deku and All Might were quirkless. So it's going to be awesome to see where this goes, especially seeing how powerful the League of Villains have become. But that's the thing I want to kind of discuss very quickly, because we're 19 minutes into this, is that the League of Villains have become exponentially more powerful than before the mini arc. Just when the mini arc started, they weren't that powerful. They were dangerous, but not that powerful. And Deku and the kids had gotten considerably powerful. Then they had this exponential growth where they were basically all about to die. And they could either die or force their quirks to evolve and reach new levels. And now, even though Shigaraki can now, touch one person and pass on his decay to other people, he doesn't even need to touch people, I don't think, was it? At one point, he didn't even touch someone and they started decaying. or was that the passing on thing? He can touch the ground, decay that, and if it's touching someone, he can decay them too. His quirk has gone absolutely insane. The range of it, the destructiveness of it, the speed of it—it's absolutely filthy. His quirk. So, and same with Toga, same with Twice. All these guys, we didn't really see Spinner. Did Spinner really improve that much? I can't remember. And we didn't really see Dabby improve. I don't think like his flames didn't go apeshit and he was able to control them or something like that. But the League of Villains have improved big time, and we still have to see. Even though it was nice to see the kids and what they've learned from their internships and what they've learned from their work studies from different heroes like Shishido, who we've never heard of, Wash Hero and stuff like that, Ryukyu, all these cool heroes. But what they haven't learned still is how to, well, it's not that they haven't learned it, it's just that they need more experience fighting villains. I suppose they would have done in their work study, actually. Now I think about it, they would have fought villains one-to-one as a group, so they would have had experience against those villains. But I feel like they haven't leveled up as exponentially, as drastically as the League of Villains have, and that's going to be an issue if they encounter the League of Villains anytime soon, especially because Shigaraki has not just developed his own quirk, but now he's or even evolved his own quirk, but now he's getting like all these rods and tasers and wires and stuff shoved up his ass by Dr. Eggman, and he's gonna come out freaking steroid junkie, absolutely rabid on that, roid rage. He's gonna be out there murdering folk for jokes. So I want to see how they're gonna keep up with someone like that. Shigaraki is gonna be a straight killer. He's gonna be a straight murderer, and I want to see how they can keep up with someone like that. So that's the end of this review. Let me know what you guys thought. I did not think it was going to be this long, but I had a lot to discuss, even though I didn't actually read much of the chapter, as in what people were saying or things like that. But let me know what you guys thought of the chapter. Let me know what you guys thought of this review. I will, over the weekend, catch up with both Nanatsu no Taizai and One Punch Man, and I'll throw all of those at you guys. Though Nanatsu no Taizai will be a double review. I think depends on how long the reviews are. I saw something about Lady of the Lake and Chaos. I'm be pissed off about that, because I did mention in one of my reviews that if this person is the Lady of the Lake in this mana lake thing, the mana ball, then I would be a little bit annoyed. And it turns out she is the Lady of the Lake, and I'm just like, bitch, come on, man. I get that you've taken this from myth and it's a lake of mana technically, but I'll get to that. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in a bit.